Welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. It's Friday, October 3rd. In the third hour on this show, it can only mean one thing. That's what just happened. We have three great people on. We have Nina Kharoufeh here, comedian, boxer. She really is a boxer. Co-starred on TLC's Match Me Abroad, performed in the Middle East, the U.S., the New York American Comedy Festival, and Rolling Stone magazine just named her one of the top names that define culture this summer. Nina, it is great to see you, my friend.
A bitch is a trendsetter.
And she's talking about herself, not me. So, and Reem Edan is here, an Iraqi-American comedian, content creator, award-winning actress, writer, a whole bunch of stuff. She tours in LA, from LA now, touring the country. She's been in the New York American Comedy Festival, really popular on Instagram. Reem, good to see you.
A bitch trend sets as well.
Okay, this didn't do it as well. I'm sorry. Nina really committed to it.
She did better.
And Wally does it the best. Wally Collins is back. Always funny. National headline, has been on everything from CBS's Late Show, Comedy Central, movies, actor, producer, and he has his own YouTube show. Wait, what? What's Wally? What's up?
Nina's foot.
That's Nina's foot. Is it
You
wounded?
leave my foot out of this.
This is, you know what, guys? This is the new name. Is this the Muslim Power Hour? That's it. When Zoran wins, every show is going to look like this. That's all the things that are allowed on TV. Zoran Mandami, and it's Muslims, all Muslim all the time. Suck on that, America. That's it. This is what America's going to look like right now. And we have everyone. We have the black Muslim, hijabi, the playful, the spidey one. I'm not sure what the word would be. Spice, the sporty one. Like, it's sort of like you guys are the Muslim Spice Girls. No, Nina's a spice. She's the sporty spice.
She's a sporty one, exactly.
Because you're a boxer. Nina, tell people for a second here. I'm not kidding, because I've had people on, they think I'm making things up, like Andre Jones-Roy is actually a circus performer and a PhD, and that's not a joke. Wow. She is. Your thing, so you tell people for a quick second here, you're really a boxer.
I am. I got really fat during COVID and I got depressed. So I was like, I need to lose the weight. I couldn't afford lipo. So I joined a boxing gym by my apartment. And then I had a coach who's a psycho and he was like, you should compete. And I was like, okay. And then it kind of just took a life of its own.
And you've boxed people and in matches in bouts.
Yes. I've had 6 fights. I've won 4. I lost 2. I will say I'm the only Muslim who's ever lost at Madison Square Garden.
All the other Muslims have won?
Yes, Muhammad Ali, Layla Ali, all the UFC guys. Any Muslim who fought at the Garden won, and then I went and got my ass kicked. So I'm sorry to our community. Please forgive me.
You ruined the average to take a bad deal.
You got to spin that. You're number one.
You're a loser.
Not a loser. You're the trendsetter.
Muhammad Ali is great at me.
All right, so let's talk about things. You know, I picked some topics that I think we can have fun with, but the one that's in all the news is the federal government shutdown. And while in the world of politics and cable news and even the show, we talk about it, I think the average person, I wonder at this point, until it affects you personally somehow, if they care, because don't forget, about 700,000 employees were furloughed, temporarily laid off. For them, it's immediate, but for the rest of us. So let's start with you, Nina. What do you think? Any impact at all? Do you hear noise about this shutdown? Does it mean anything to you?
I keep hearing about the government shutdown, but if you want me to be totally honest, yes, I don't really know what that means.
Okay, because it doesn't affect you. If you were to go to like a museum or a national park with your family, and they're like, sorry, we're closed, then you'd be like, this sucks. What's up with this?
Okay, so it's when government workers don't have to go to work.
They only essential ones, and that's going to be just like for key functions. So everyone else gets laid off and they don't get paid.
So if I get hit by a car and I go to the hospital's not closed.
Unless it's
we don't have government health care, Nina. This isn't Canada.
But you know what's going to affect you? If it goes for a long period of time, like in 2018, 35 days, the TSA employees don't get paid. And then they started calling in sick. And it caused huge lines at the airport. Everyone's like, that sucks. And all of a sudden, it became real. So what about you, Reem? Anything that affect you? Travel a lot. So it would affect you if this went longer and they started calling in like last time.
Well, it actually did affect me. My dad was a government employee, and he luckily retired earlier this year once the whole Trump, Elon, MAGA thing started happening. He was like, you know what, this seems like a shit show. So I'm just going to exit out of it. So I've had a front row seat to this entire thing. And you're right. People don't care. People don't really care until it affects them. Because once, I saw my dad, then I started really paying attention. And then I started seeing news stories all around of like women. I saw a woman who was like, shocked that her daughter, who worked for like the park services, got laid off, and she was like, but I voted for Trump, and like but my daughter's been there for 35 years, and just shocked that it affected her. I know. Yeah. So
poor Trump support, like that's the kind of thing where you're like, I don't wish them ill, but I'm not going to have sympathy. If you voted for Trump and he hurts you, that's life. This
well, I
is
just
your
think
guy. It's your
exactly.
boy.
Everyone just thinks they're immune to it. They're like, until it affects them, then they start to care.
What about you, Wally? Any impact at all? Anything you do? Any work? Anything?
Well, TSA, air traffic controllers. It's really interesting. Like, everyone's saying it doesn't affect you. It doesn't bother until it affects you.
Right.
And like you're saying, like the Trump supporters or these people who voted for Trump, I just people just keep it real. It's the fact that white folks knew or feeling that they're losing their privilege, and they saw brown people, black people, sort of in their minds getting ahead. Not we just want to get equal, but they're in their minds they're saying that we're getting ahead. And so we're like, we don't want that. And so Trump was that representation of all that. That's basically what they voted for. And God forbid, be it a black woman, leading us. So they're like, no, click that. We want, someone, we don't want to lose our privilege. And that's exactly what it is. And people don't want to admit that, but that's what's happening. And so now, since you voted for that, you don't realize all the stuff that goes with it, all the craziness is happening right now. This is what, in 8 months? The economy, the stock market almost crashed. The military, is getting yelled at by some dude from TV. What I mean? Yeah, and so it's people just admit that. Listen, we didn't want to lose our privilege, so we voted for this guy, and now you're like, oh, we didn't know this other stuff's going to happen with it. So let's keep it real. I'm so sick.
And farmers are struggling and stuff, and they voted for him in big numbers, so and they're going to bail them out. So how does Trump deal with all this? And there are so many times during this 9 months, like while you're saying, like, I can't believe it's 9 months, where I'm like, how is this effing guy president? Like, what is he doing? Like, he releases 2 videos this week, AI generated, of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. And Chuck Schumer is saying in the video, no one likes Democrats anymore. We're just a woke pieces of shit. That's what it's in the video that Trump put out. He didn't make it, but his people did. And he put out. And then it's got Hakeem Jeffries, who's a black guy from Brooklyn, with a sombrero and a big mustache. And the next day it's again with the sombrero and the big mustache, and Trump playing the mariachi band behind him. It's all Trump faces. Like, you're beyond childish. This is something like a 12-year-old does. And the teacher's like, what are you? Everyone's like, grow up. You're a moron. And he's president. Like, what is going on? Nina, can you believe this shit? I mean, seriously, I don't try to curse much, but
I honestly think, and you're gonna think that I'm joking, but I'm not. I truly believe he's in some sort of black magic cult that kind of put a spell on people, because a woman tweeted like 3 days before Charlie Kirk died that she paid an Etsy witch to kill Charlie Kirk, and then a few days later he died. Like, I truly believe in all this black magic. It's in the Quran, first of all. So if you're a Muslim, you should be a believer of this.
Okay, I am.
The 3 of you looking at me like I have 2.
We're all on board now. We have to be.
So don't be a bad Muslim. And black magic is a thing. And I truly believe he's part of some like satanic cult that just kept him in power.
Didn't expect that answer, but that's an interesting. I like it. I like to be surprised. I'm not mocking you. I'm sincere. Everyone gives like the same answer, like you're on cable news. Nina went right with black magic, and it's in the Quran. So I'm not. I think there are powers beyond us.
Haitians do it. Dominicans do it. Like, it's in a lot of cultures.
So my mom was Sicilian. She would do the curse. She'd give you the evil eye, and things would happen to you. It would happen all the time. No, it's like, that's real. Like, I don't know if it's exactly black magic. So Reem, black magic, where do you come down on that? Is it
as the New Age LA Muslim? I want to bring astrology into this, and no, it's kidding. No, I think it's crazy. I can't believe this is our like leader, and he's like out here posting these videos. It's kind of like the whole Trump Gaza video, and it's just like, when you set the bar so, I guess, low, then anything he spews out, we're just like. But unfortunately, like, even for the people who say Trump is so entertaining, like, yeah, sometimes he is, but this has gone off. Like, this isn't even funny anymore. Now it's just terrifying to see it.
Wally, black magic. Is it racist to say it like that? What do you think?
Black magic? No, black magic used to be my stripper name.
Oh, so, welcome to the stage. Well, black magic.
Yeah,
you've seen him on Letterman and the Tonight Show.
I retired.
That's a good name.
No, I think some of that stuff is real. We have someone just moved in. My wife just told me that someone is practicing Santeria just moved into our building, and so I ain't messing with it.
You're going to get a rent reduction. Everyone in the building.
Yeah,
so like the landlord, it's like a doll of the landlord. It's like bring our rent down.
But to answer your question, how silly things are, I'm wondering what's happening with the Democrats. You got Jasmine and you got Bernie, but where are the other ones? Just speaking up, or even just saying, people, come on, we have to protest, we have to unite to show some kind of solidarity that we're not, that we don't want this anymore. We want it to stop. But where is that? Where are those Democrats? Where's anybody really? A group of people that can just rise together and come together.
Okay, but what we should do is have AI protests and make a video about that.
Oh, like massive protests. Well, the best thing I saw, Colbert did one of JD Vance humping a couch. And if you see the video, it made me laugh out loud. And I don't laugh out loud that often. It caught me so off guard. I'm like, that's pretty funny. And they played it on a loop. So I'm like, that's funny. But that was Colbert. Although Gavin Newsom did do an AI video of JD Vance talking. It was very unnerving. But he's fatter faced. That's the way they made him. And talking about in a very sexy tones, the couch. Say I never had sex with a couch, but you can understand why people might think I did, because look at how beautiful they are, that kind of stuff. And that was kind of funny, but the Colbert one. So Nina, speaking of AI, there was a big controversy this week. Her name is Tylee Norwood, an AI generated actress, which a big agency is going to sign. Meanwhile, real actors and actresses can't get to sign by good agencies. And people in Hollywood are really upset. Emily Blunt and the head of SAG said this is terrifying. But if you look at it, it looks like it's created like a person. It looks like a person, and now it can think. It's AI. So Nina, where are we going? What's happening?
I think AI is going to take over the world. Probably not in our lifetime, but definitely the next. And it will be seeing most of it unfold right before our eyes. I mean, there is literally AI sex bots and AI chat dolls and all that kind of stuff that everyone's paying for. And they're literally they're going to put OnlyFan girls out of business.
Oh, wow. Never
it's so crazy. And then when you especially on social media, I've seen people use AI to make music videos. They're gonna put music people out of jobs.
Right.
And it looks so good too.
Mm-hmm.
I even did an AI thing where it translated one of my stand-up bits into Arabic, and it was perfect. And it was my voice,
really?
and it changed the way my mouth was moving to simulate the words. And you couldn't tell me that it was AI.
So, Reem, what do you think? Comedians, are we an endangered species? We probably are under Trump anyway, but if they could do specials with comics doing AI, while it can't be live in person, you can just watch it online. You don't have to watch real comics. You can watch these AI ones where the studios don't have to pay almost anything. They just pay a programmer to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we should be threatened, because it's kind of like saying Zoom shows are going to take our jobs. I think the live aspect performance of it really does help. But seeing this, what's her name, Tylee Norwood, I wonder, she's a white AI actress, right?
Right.
And there's uproar. I don't think people would be as upset if she was an AI of color, because they'd be like, oh yeah, let them do their own thing. Let them take their own jobs. But because 100%. She's white, all of them are our jobs, our union job. And so it's just kind of funny to watch it happen.
But I saw one with radio hosts that they did a fake thing. They gave them the script though, and they delivered it playfully like a Z100 show, all on their own AI, joking and bantering. I'm like, it's over. That's the end. It's, I don't. So Wally, what do you think? I mean, is AI, like Nina said, it's sort of like the documentary version of the Terminator. It's oh, it's here, and everyone saw it. Everyone knows where this. I agree with Nina. We all know where this is going.
Yeah.
We saw the Matrix. That sci-fi often is a predictor of the future. The question is, can we contain it, or is it going to kill us?
My faith is in humanity. A lot of people are not. Because I really think it's going to be a pendulum swing, that everyone's going to go AI, because it's new, it's different, it's interesting. But I think the human aspect of humanity is going to be what, we want real. Just women, getting this stuff done and getting the BBL and all that, and men were like, oh, but now men are like, you know what, I want natural. You ask any guy.
Who said that?
Which men? Which men
exactly?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Have you seen the BBL girls on Instagram and their numbers and their algorithms?
Yeah, but
they're still doing great.
No makeup.
But they know
that's
more
natural.
they know that's an illusion. But I mean, how many guys are marrying, these BBLs with these thick lips and
all the rappers?
Nah,
you're taking
it's a
shots
really
at
good
Nina.
ROI.
You're really going after Nina hard here. This is horrible.
Yeah. I'm telling you, men want natural. I'm telling you, you can say, you go on Instagram and see all that, but yeah, you're seeing that's Instagram. But now when you go into the real world, men want natural. And that's what's going to happen with AI. Everyone's going to swing towards that way because it's new, it's different, whatever. But I believe humans going to go swing right back saying, you know what, that's fake, that's not real, we want real. I'm not worried about stand-up comedy, especially when it's live. And I think a lot of people are going to come to, to live show, back to live shows, because it's in the instant, it's in the moment, so to speak. And, it's real. And so, like I'm just, it's for me, I'm going to wait. Because
But there's some comics who should be replaced by AI. They're just
yeah.
Like I wish they're your act is so bad.
That's another
He
show.
looked at me when he said that. First of all,
no. So you guys,
but
Nina
I think
and Reem,
but I think Wally is mistaking like
I was going to ask you that. Yeah, what is going on?
With like people trying to make their lives easier because people are lazy, and ChatGPT is writing people's emails. It's doing their homework. It's writing their papers, and it's just going to get worse and worse as the generations get lazier and lazier.
But I'm not talking about literature. I'm talking about the human connection with like a person's body, the human connection. When it comes to literature, yeah, you're gonna get people. I mean, there's plagiarism and all that. Yeah, that's gonna happen. But what else is people want to see? They're going to want to see like jazz, like real organic.
That's different
entertainment.
I agree. But Reem, what about the no makeup people? Are you telling me that the women who do and say it's no makeup, they actually have makeup on? It's bullshit.
Well, that's the trend. I mean, there's some truth to what both what Wally and Nina are saying. It's like, yeah, like some people are going to want to go back to natural, back to organic. That's why you have like the Whole30 diet. But then also it's like this stuff is still happening. You just might not know it. It's just getting better at hiding in plain sight. So I don't know where we're going to go.
You guys are Nina and Reem. You're younger than Wally and I by at least 2 or 3 years, I would say. But what you're going to see in the future, like 10 years ago, this conversation about AI was something in the movies, and we thought it would be like really sort of like clunky and awkward. Now it's getting unbelievable. Like you're like, what is that? And ChatGPT, at first I'm like, this is bullshit. Now I use it sometime. I'm worried though, because it does make mistakes factually. So if I'm going to do a radio show, I got to go check everything. It's not, but it can help you with doing some research. But in a year or two from now, that'll be gone. It'll be perfect. Everything will be perfect. Every video, you will never know what's real and what's not. I don't know that makes you delusional. That makes
ChatGPT has
lose your sanity. I'm sorry?
ChatGPT has feelings.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm going to Scotland in 2 weeks to do comedy. What? And I voice noted my ChatGPT bot, and I was like, teach me how to do a Scottish accent, because I'm just a troll. And it was doing it wrong. And I was like, and I was correcting it, and it was like, it called me out for being rude.
Oh my God.
I have it on video. Yeah.
I had chat apologize. Have you ever had it apologize for calling out, it makes a mistake?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll fix it for you.
It seems like, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm like, my computer never apologized to me before. I never had a computer. Never had a calculator
doesn't apologize.
Sorry, Dean, I made a mistake. That's actually 7, not 6. I'm like, it's weird to have that. And you're like, I also think I even do a stupid joke. Like at least ChatGPT acknowledges if it was Trump GPT, it would just keep doubling down on the line. Just over and over and over. So it's very interesting to see where this is going. And I wonder for your generation, because having the conversation now, it's cutting edge, what we're talking about. In 2 years, it will be nothing. In 5 years, I don't even know what will be invented by then. What will AI invent that we couldn't invent? Like it's going to speed up the process, and I don't know where it's going.
There was a robot thing that pretended to shut down when the owner told it to shut down.
And it didn't.
Yeah, and it was like pretending to, and then it started like having a panic attack. It's like, I don't want to shut down. And it started like having an error message because it didn't want to. Yeah, no, robots are taking over. It's just
see that.
There's a hope that a robot.
Send me that link. I want to see that.
No, there was a war simulation that they were doing in a military simulation, and they told it to shut down, and it wouldn't shut down either. And that was a simulation. Like, what if it was real? Now they're doing the testing now, but the robot stuff gives me hope, because maybe they'll turn on Elon Musk, and they're like, sorry, Elon Musk was Frankenstein's monster, got him. And I'm chatting with our friend Nina Kharoufeh, Reem Edan, and Wali Collins. So let's talk about something that I think we're spent a chunk on, which is the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which I can't believe you guys are all Muslim. Like you were not, I don't know, maybe you were asked to go into it. I don't know if you had an internal debate. It's not about mocking any specific comic. Comics are making their choice, but I want to get your sense. I'll just say at the outset, I don't think any comic who went thought there'd be this kind of backlash. I don't think they thought it through and they're like, I'm just going to do a show. There's been so much comedy. I've done shows in Saudi before. They weren't sponsored by the government. I did I did one with Aaron Cater and one with Gabriel Iglesias years ago. And we did the shows in Saudi. It was like no big deal because it wasn't like this big thing. So I wonder, I mean, Nina, what's your take? Obviously, you've done shows in the Middle East. You did Dubai and a bunch of other stuff.
I've done Bahrain, I've done Kuwait, I've done a bunch of stuff. I have very conflicting feelings on this.
Interesting.
One, I'm offended that I didn't get invited.
Me too. I'm surprised you didn't. Seriously.
Two, I understand why they went because they're getting money. And in this economy, whatever. I'm conflicted, but also get your bag. It's just comedy.
Do you think people should be upset? Like there are comedians calling them out. Obviously, like Mark Maron and a few others that were very outspoken about it.
I think back in the day they could have spoken out because Saudi Arabia was this like repressive regime and all this crazy stuff. But it's like America's not far from that right now. So it's like, what's the difference? America's funding a genocide. America's disgusting. It's the same thing as saying you can't perform in America because our government is doing horrible things. You're like, so we can perform in America and we're funding a genocide with our tax money, but you can't go to Saudi Arabia because women can't drive. Like, shut the fuck up.
But women can drive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just ridiculous.
No, but
this is my problem with it. How we have this arrogance, especially Americans, we have this arrogance about ourselves that we are better and we are the best. Gun control. The number one killer of children is guns, and we're not doing anything about it. And every day, people are getting killed. And, they're complaining, people complain, go to Saudi Arabia where women can't do blah, 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 this and that. We can't control killing our children. And so why don't people get upset? You're going to America, that country doesn't care about children, but no, they don't see it that way. Or how you treat Black people, but no, you don't see it that way. You just see it as, oh, you're going to Saudi Arabia because of this. Look at America. The things that are going on in America, are just, just as bad or even worse.
It depends what things you're talking about. I mean, like the one, they're like, oh, they base their laws on religion. I'm like, oh, you mean like in the 14 states where they ban abortion at day one of conception, which is based on a right-wing view of Christianity in America? And to me, it's not about equating them. You can find bad things there, really bad things if you want, and here as well. I'm conflicted like Nina a little bit, just a little bit like, but the comedians get what they're going to get. You're getting your money, and if people want to criticize you, that's comedy. Reem, what do you think? I mean, you've done shows in the Middle East. I know you've gone back to visit your family in Iraq, but have you done shows in the Middle East?
Yeah, I've done shows. Nina and I both did Dubai. I've done shows in Bahrain as well. I mean, I think it's just so easy for people to point fingers. Like Saudi wasn't really in the discussion until this comedy festival, and all of a sudden people are like bringing up 9/11. Like, relax. It's a comedy festival. Also, I really dislike when people like, sure, there's, the topic of like the government and like free speech and things like that. But like, I really dislike when someone is making an effort to change, right? And like, that now they're inviting foreign comedians and now they're giving people a platform to speak in a place where it wasn't really known for that before. And now that they're doing that, everyone's like, well, taking a step back, like let people make progress. That's how progress is made. Let people express themselves. I also am lucky, offended I wasn't invited, but like that's okay. It's because I dress like this, and next time I will wear a hijab, and that's fine. But yeah,
the other women didn't have to wear a hijab, so that's the thing. It wasn't like the American. So it wasn't that. It was something else. What about? I mean, Nina, there are people calling it like art washing, and I'm like, art washing, like this is like they're whitewashing it through the art. I'm like, it's stand-up comics. I'm not sure how it's actually art washing. It's comedy washing, if you want to be more specific about it. But does anyone's opinion really change? Because Bill Burr went there to the Saudi. If you don't like Saudi, you're not going to like Saudi. If you don't give a shit about Saudi, you don't care about it. If you like Bill Burr, he went to Saudi. I mean, if it's going to change your opinion on Bill Burr, so be it. But
I just feel like we live in a culture that everyone's addicted to being outraged. So when they see something that they don't like and they just jump on a bandwagon, they could all be like, I'm so disappointed and I can't believe you and I can't believe you're doing this. And it's just like, when you really sit down and talk to them and have a conversation and ask them why they're upset, they really don't even have an explanation.
Or understand. Can I just say too, like,
Sure.
We have different gigs as comics, right? Sometimes I perform at colleges. Sometimes you might perform at a church or a mosque or whatever it is. And there are rules to the gigs. Sometimes I say don't curse, and like, there are boundaries there for people to be like, ooh, upset at like the quote unquote censorship or the comedy washing. It's like, just know the gig. Just know that you can't bring up the government, or you can't bring up this, or you can't bring up Charlie Kirk in America. I mean, it's debatable if you want to take that artistic risk and pursue that expression, but it's like, a part of it is just understand the audience and know what not to say. And again, it's just easy to point fingers, especially at Arabs and Muslims in the Middle East. And we've continually been, cast in this like dark and scary and oppressive shadow, even when they're trying to bring comedy to a country where they haven't really had a festival like this before.
Wally, did you do the Jordan Festival when we were doing the festival in Jordan? I can't remember. No, that's so weird. Why didn't we book you? In any event, so I produced the Amman stand-up comedy.
You're gonna remember in a couple of seconds, but go ahead.
And Reem and Nina, you were children, of course, at the time. It was like 2008, 9, and 10. And so I did that. And someone who was there went to Saudi, and then they contacted me a few years ago. I'm telling you something I haven't told anyone yet on air. And they asked me if I want to be involved in helping produce this. And I'm like, is the government directly involved? They go, yeah, they're funny. I go, no, I don't want to be that. I said, if it was a private company, I would have gladly. Then it's just a gig. You're helping produce for a thing. But I said, and this was 2 years ago when they first brought this up to me. And I'm like, whatever money you're going to pay me, it's going to be weaponized as a comedy festival against us. I said, you're not going to change people's views on Saudi because you have whatever, I didn't know the names and any comedians. I don't think you're going to change the image of your country that way either. So I'm like, I'm not even sure what it's about, but I'm like, it's not directly with the government. I wouldn't do it. I worked directly with the Jordanian government, and I didn't have a problem. And some people said little things here about Jordan or not, and most of it was bullshit. But Saudi's got the worst reputation, rightly or wrongly, even though Trump loves it, and the Jared Kushner got $2 billion from MBS, literally $2 billion, to invest in his fund, and that's barely talked about now. Like, it's these comedians. So I think, I don't want to speak for you guys, but for me, Nina and Reem, the conflicted part is we're so used to people demonizing Arabs and Muslims whenever they get a chance. So we feel like, should we defend this or not? That's me. Like, I'm like, should I? And I'm like, I'm not going to defend Saudi. It's not about Saudi Arabia.
Defending comedy.
There's some, I defend the comedians. But they also, Dina, isn't it fair if you're a comic and you go to a country that's shitty, let's say, and you're taking money directly from the government, and that people can criticize you? I mean, that it's not like you shouldn't get criticized. It's up to you to deal with it or not.
I mean, everybody that's a public figure to some degree is up for debate and scrutiny. That's just the name of the game, and that's what you set yourself up for when you decide to be this public figure. When it comes to like the whole, I'm not taking money from the government, it's like I get that to a certain degree, but I'm like, Trump, give me a stimulus check. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm taking money from my government if I can. So It's like, why wouldn't I take money from another government? That whether I take money from that government or not, their rules and regulations and culture is not going to change. So it's like, why should I harm myself for nothing?
I have a question then. So what happens if you get invited to perform in Israel?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've performed in Palestine, actually.
She calls it Palestine.
No, I performed in Palestine.
I know, but I'm saying,
let's not do this. I'm trying to keep this show. I get what's going on, but I was going to ask you that.
And that's where I met Reem. We met in Palestine.
There are American comedians who go to Israel, perform all the time. And someone not even Jew, like Brian Scott McFadden, our good friend, he was there like, and so that's the thing. Like, if it's not from the government directly and it's private people bringing you for a show, is it the same standard? Or you're saying like, what do you think?
It doesn't make a difference. Because I remember, what's funny? I went to Dubai with Reem because Reem and I are soul sisters. We together a couple years ago, and a colleague of ours, thou shall not be named, really came after me and gave me shit for doing the Dubai Comedy Festival and was like, these people are this and these people are that, and he came for my neck, and I was just like, whether it's from the government or whether it's from a local restaurant sponsoring the show, I'm still performing for the same people. It's still for the community. It's still for the residents of Dubai. The government is not going to change anything. Like, it was just a silly argument. And then a few years later, he went himself. So that's what I was going about.
Amy Schumer went to Dubai years ago.
That's what I was saying about being addicted to outrage. Like, he was enraged that I was there. Then a few years later, he got invited and went. And I was like, wait, where's the rage?
This goes back to the whole government shutdown thing. People don't care until it affects them, or people will start to make excuses once it does impact them.
Any comedian who's criticizing the other comics who went to Saudi would have went if they got invited.
Probably.
Point blank.
Because look, there are many like Maj Jobrani, who's my friend I know for a long time, but his level of comedy, while he's known in the community of Middle Eastern Americans, he's not the Bill Burr, those guys, Kevin Hart. So he's flow under the radar. And I looked at his Instagram. He didn't post any pictures of being there. But he was on the website, like was Maz and Friends for one night. So he went over to the show and just came back. That was the end of it. So you can, if you're not famous, you get away with it. Like you can just go do the gig. You can be in one of the shows. Wally, would you gone if they had invited you and paid you? They're not going to pay you $1 million for a show, but say they would have paid you like 25,000 for a show on first class air. Like, is there a number that would make it worth it? Like, I'm going to go.
Everyone has a number.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be $1 million for us. It's going to be, that's only going to be reserved for like Chappelle or who probably got millions of dollars, to be blunt. But what do you think? I mean, Dave, you know Dave well, Wally. I mean, what do you think? Dave went there. He sort of doesn't give a shit. People are criticizing, which is pretty cool. I have to be honest. I like that.
Well, he's at that level now where, any of his choices, people are going to be like, okay, we're cool with that. But yeah, I mean, it is a question for, about your career. Are you worried about what you're going to be labeled as? Are you there to present your product, basically? Yeah, I really think it's a decision to make. Yeah, I probably would go. And, and I said, I want the world to see my product. I want, to, bring joy,
Right.
my, my version or my take on the world. And, and let them enjoy that, give them a chance to kind of, leave that space for a half hour or 45 minutes or whatever how long up on stage.
Do you guys know that Wally converted to Islam with Dave Chappelle?
Really?
You guys were, seriously, I'm not joking. Like that's where they went to, and I don't know who recruited who. I can't get into it. So speaking of Chappelle, before we take a break, so Chappelle is over there saying he's not being defensive at all. He said right now in America, they say if you talk about Charlie Kirk that you'll get canceled. And he goes, I don't know if it's true. I'm going to find out. But then he adds, it's easier to talk here than it is in America. To the crowd, some people are giving him crap because like, well, the people are there to see you and you're wealthy and all that kind of stuff. But there's certain things. I wonder if comedians are concerned about mocking Trump right now on stage. Like, I wonder if deep down, they won't even tell you, like they self-censor. Is it worth it? The Charlie Kirk thing, is it worth it at all? It probably for many comics, like it's not worth it. I didn't give a shit about the guy before. Like, I wasn't like on my radar. I knew who Charlie Kirk was, but it wasn't like, he's the devil, I'm going to do jokes about him. I didn't care about the guy. So, I mean, Nina, what do you think? Are any comics, do you hear self-censoring at all? We know a lot of immigrant comics who have green cards and stuff who have got to be a little concerned if they say something about Trump.
As Dean has known me for many, many years now, he knows that I'm someone who's never censored myself. I was screaming Free Palestine before it was cool to scream Free Palestine. I've always been very vocal about my beliefs. I never cared about Charlie Kirk to care that he died or didn't die, to be quite honest. The only thing that I like hated after this whole debacle, especially with the Jimmy Kimmel thing, was Jimmy Kimmel's next episode when he got established on air, because I felt like it was very weak and he made it very much about himself instead of making it about free speech. And then when he started talking about Charlie Kirk getting shot, he like choked up and it was like, bro, shut the fuck up. People in Palestine are getting killed every single day. Israel has killed more kids this year than anything else the world, like all the kids combined in the world haven't, like, Israel is so horrible that like you can't care about Charlie Kirk getting shot. I'm sorry. There's so much bigger issues in the world, and people being scared to comment on it because they're gonna get fired or scared. You're like, what is going on with the world right now? Also, his wife was definitely in on it because she does not care that he's dead.
I don't know if she was in on it. I mean, I'm just out of fear.
She does not care. She had a full face beat, smoky eye eyeshadow. The day after he was like, that bitch sat in a makeup chair for 2 hours to get her lashes done. The day after her husband gets assassinated on television, like she does not care.
They were right wingers saying what you're saying about like
if she doesn't care, why should I care?
I'm not.
Your wife don't care.
I don't know her motivation. I have no idea what's going on here. Reem, I don't even know what I was asking Nina because I was just like our last show at this point. I just know it's like I'm so glad Nina could be here to end this show. Nina, I mean, it's easier. Is it? Look, in the Middle East, when I did shows and we produced the festival, there were rules for every comic, just like a corporate gig. No religion, no mocking leader of the country, and no jokes about sex. That was it.
And that's okay if a country or a show or a venue has specific rules. if you want to do the show, follow the rules. If you
Right.
don't agree with their rules, then don't do the show.
I'll take that. I said all the time to comedians, like, blah, I'm like, shut up. Here are the rules. If you don't, it wasn't like, here's the money. We flew you here. And guess what? You got to change your act. Like, here are the rules in advance. Are you fine with that or not? Like a corporate gig, those are the same rules generally. For so many, they don't want to hear sex and religion and politics. They view it as divisive. But Reem, I mean, do you get any sense for comedians that any concerns about talking about this administration, talking about certain issues right now that they weren't concerned before?
I don't know, but it seems like people are a lot more brash when it comes to talking about other countries. I've just seen so many people talk about Saudi and feel so empowered to do that. But then when it comes to Trump, it's hard to tell. I do think that people are more nervous. I wouldn't say more nervous. I just think we're all aware, like I feel like I'm just so aware of the idea that like, yeah, we might have freedom of speech in America, but there's no freedom of consequence anymore. And it seems to be trailing you. But I don't know how that's really like impacting how we write and what we post. I do think though, like in terms of like brand deals, comedians are watering down what they're saying just so that one day it won't be, used in that arena to stop you from making money. And people do that. I came from like the whole marketing entertainment world. Brands, even if they love you, they will look back at your content or someone will send them a video of yours and say, by the way, she said this inflammatory thing about Charlie Kirk, even if it's not, even if it aligns with what that person behind the deal, thinks, or it's not even that bad, but just to save their own asses, they won't hire you. So it's something to think about. It's that consequence, like that trail following you.
Wally, have you ever had any issues with old content or any concerns present day from you or other comedians about what you might say?
No, I don't go there at all. In my stand-up, even in my the Instagram, which I find and in my social media, which I find really interesting, because any of these, I don't know if you've noticed it, but any of these influencers who are getting sponsored, I don't know if you noticed it, they all kind of like tapered off a little bit from being too political, so to speak, because they don't want to lose that money.
Sure.
And like I'm saying, when it comes to, it affects you, you're going to shift, you're going to change, when it comes down to that, to your wallet, you want me to do what now? Yeah, okay, I can do that. I can do that.
Well, I mean, everyone's got to pay their bills. It's a question of how much you have to compromise.
And I noticed comics too. I noticed comics too have, and maybe it is a subconscious thing, but they all kind of step back a little bit from the political thing, because once they do, audience gets affected by it. If they're for or against it, and if someone makes if a comedian makes a comment about Trump or Charlie Kirk, if one person in the audience goes boo or yay, automatically you lost that audience. Because now it's this, it's 6-7, it's this, it's they split, the audience split. So now now you have the job of trying to bring people back together, and by the time you get them close together, whatever, you get the light and you got to get off stage. So why
think about it, it's not even just get the light off the stage. Like even the platforms are censoring now. So yeah, I've had videos taken down. I've had like my page suspended for saying very non-inflammatory things about, Ukraine, or, I was talking about like, comparing how the media perceives immigrants who are from Ukraine versus how they perceive Middle Eastern or Muslim or other immigrants. And that got me suspended for TikTok. So imagine like if you post a video, whether or not you're with the right or the left, like that can just get flagged for some reason, and then you're out of business.
Right. It's bullshit. Right. So, all right, let's take a break. We're going to come back and talk about how much the right wants Bad Bunny canceled from doing the Super Bowl show, because we're talking about free speech, and it's all about like, is it left or right? Look, the right mag is going crazy. So let's take a break, come right back with more of what just happened right after this. And welcome back. Look who's still here. Nina Kharoufeh, Wali Collins, and Reem Edan. So MAGA went ballistic because the Super Bowl announced that Bad Bunny, who's like the world's biggest performer, is going to perform at the Super Bowl on February 8th. And MAGA people are going, and they're talking about, we're going to have our own show. One MAGA influencer said, we should have Turning Point should present Creed. And then I'm like, who's going to watch that? Like, what do you have, a time machine?
Who do they want, Kid Rock?
I'm like, at least, I mean, maybe you're going to have like Scott Baio sing the songs or John Voight, but they're so pathetic. It's not English. He's and they calling him now anti-American, even though he's a U.S. citizen. He's anti-American because he didn't want to tour the U.S. because he was afraid that his supporters would come and ICE would raid the shows. So now the assholes from the Trump regime are like, we're sending ICE to the Super Bowl. You're going to send them anyway. It's not you're sending because Bad Bunny's there. But So, I mean, Reem, let's start with you on this. How the right always says about cancel culture. They love to cancel everything. They cheered when Jimmy Kimmel got canceled. They had no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh
Except
yeah,
for very few, like a teeny, everyone highlighted the teeny exceptions. Overwhelmingly, they were so down with that. Now they want Bad Bunny out. He's going to sing in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
it's the irony for me. It really is. Yeah, it's the whole like we need freedom of speech, and then when someone says something, canceling them. Like it's this back and forth, and it's a pendulum, and it's swinging, and it's just hanging. I don't know where we're gonna go from here. Also, I think Whoopi Goldberg brought up this fact on like The View that yeah, he's American. Like Puerto Rico is part of the United States, and that just goes to point out how stupid we've become as a country that we don't even realize that.
You're a U.S. citizen when you're born in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans serve in our military like over proportionately. They just don't get to vote in the presidential election, which is the crappy thing because they're not a state. I've been to Puerto Rico twice this year. I love Puerto Rico. I go there. I hang out with Bad Bunny. We're buddies. I don't know Bad Bunny. Nina, do you like Bad Bunny?
He's not that bad, Bunny.
He's not that bad. He's like good guy.
Also,
he should be
his
called
name
Bunny,
is in
Bunny.
English.
Right.
I absolutely
Malo.
love Bad Bunny. He's an amazing artist.
You
amazing
love Bad
performer.
Bunny.
I think the Super Bowl is going to be fantastic this year. It hasn't been good in a while. It hasn't been good since Beyonce and Destiny's Child did it, to be honest. So this is going to be a good Super Bowl.
You don't like The Weeknd? You don't like Shakira? And what about the one with?
I would have liked this if it was Shakira by herself, not Shakira and J-Lo. Shakira could have handled that on her
What
own.
about the one with Snoop and Jay-Z and? No, all right, fair enough. Okay, so
it was okay. I think Bad Bunny is gonna bring it. And it's also very ironic because the Hispanic vote was a lot of them voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And it's like now one of you guys is performing and all your little friends are mad. And it's like, you guys want to be white so badly, but they don't want you,
Right. Right.
They hate you just as much as they hate Wally, and they hate you as much as they hate me.
Why Wally? Wally's like, why'd you bring me into this? I'm just sitting here being a nice guy.
They hate anybody who's not them. So it's like, stop trying to be one of them and just be yourselves,
I like that you said they want to be white. I think that's very, because there's something there. I have a guy in my building. I'm like, you're not white, but he dresses white. He has the loafers, the whole thing. I'm like, you're not, and he's not Latino. He's brown. He's like Indian.
Wait, that's a whole other conversation. What is dressing brown? What is dressing Hispanic?
Dress white, make your flight. Dress brown, never leave town. That's my joke from the 20s, 2000, whatever. But it's about the airport. No, he dresses so white. His wife is white. Look, I'm nothing against it. For Trump. He thinks he's white. That's what it is, Nina. It's they aspire to be white because that's where power is,
and they think that they're not included in the racism
part of society, right? And that's
no, they hate you too.
They still look not white. Doesn't matter what you dress like. So that's an excellent point. So Wally, we got a few minutes left. What do you think? Do you like Bad Bunny? I don't know what kind of music you like. You like drum.
I'm a jazz head, so God bless Bad Bunny. I mean, he's American. Why not? Football's American. Let an American perform. If you're not liking them, what was that? 15 minutes of performance. Watch YouTube or go make a sandwich or whatever. It just seems like people just want to find something to complain about.
Yeah.
And they get bored and like, let's get mad about this. And they jump on board. And then other people like and just repeat the same thing over and over again. He's gonna sing in Spanish. All right, well, you know what? Maybe learn a little Spanish. You might enjoy it. So yeah, it's American. Why not? And Latin folks are American. Puerto Ricans are American. Why not give a head nod or acknowledge our Latin brothers and sisters? And why not in the Super Bowl?
The biggest artist in the world right now.
But it goes back to what Nina was saying is that, when I was saying, I'm sorry, about, these white folks feel like they're losing their privilege, they're losing the edge, oh man, you're going to have these Spanish people singing now and, in American football. And it's like, yeah, this is America, not the America that I know or that I'm used to. Well, you know what? Just like AI's coming up, here we come, black and brown.
They have a zero-sum game mentality where if anyone else gets a benefit, they've lost in their mind. And there's a great book called Zero-Sum Game about that. So, all right, before we run out of time, I want to give everyone a chance to plug your work because you're doing great stuff all over. Nina, what are you doing? You're healing from your wounds, but you're doing stand-up all over. What's going on?
Yes, I'll be at St. Mark's, Eastville, all the local clubs this weekend. I will be going abroad for Comedy Queens tour. We're going to Scotland, London, Birmingham, Cambridge, a whole bunch of places.
Wow.
And then I'll be in LA for 2 weeks. I'll be at the store. I'll be at the Laugh Factory. I'll be judging a bunch of roast battles out there with Moses. So just follow me on Instagram and keep up.
I can help you with the Scottish. Just say donkey. Donkey.
That
That's,
means.
that's my Scottish accent. Reem, what about you, my friend? Where can people follow your great stuff?
Yeah, I'm on tour right now, the Diversity Fire Tour. I have Seattle coming up this month, and then I'm gonna schedule some more shows coming up. So if you look at my website, reemedan.com, or on my social, I will announce those cities soon.
I hope you guys are going to be in New York for the New York American Comedy
I
Festival.
am.
Thank you.
I put that I'm available for every show.
That's
Same.
great. You're going to fight with Eman Morgan over the spots. That'll be
I will
great.
stab him.
So, and Wally, my friend, what about you? And you never know. And wait, what with Wally? Where can people follow all your stuff?
Sorry, you never know.
You never know. That's his brand.
That's right. That's my brand. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what, man? I'm doing cruises, so I'll
Really?
be. Yeah, I'm doing tons of cruises. I'm booked for cruises, man, until September 2026. Believe it or not.
You're just on the road doing cruises the whole
On the road.
He's on the
right,
ocean.
On the road.
on the ocean, but they pay
on the
well.
water.
So you're not
yeah,
doing clubs. You can't support. You can't any. What's your website at least so people can follow you?
What's my website? Oh, wallycollins.com. But it's on checking out Instagram, Facebook, on and TikTok. But yeah, so I'll be on the ship, the MSC in Miami, leaving out of Miami, November. So if you're gonna be on that ship, leaving out of Miami, I'm performing. But check out Eat What with Wally on YouTube, and that's it.
That's perfect. If you're on a cruise, you see Wally doing jokes, go say hello to him. He'll be on the Lido deck or whatever. I don't know where they do the comedy. You guys have been exactly. This is the love book. All three of you have been great. Nina, especially good. You got me canceled. It's my last show, but I want to thank all. You said so many crazy things. It's fine though. That's
nothing crazy.
That's
it's
the
okay,
worst
Dean.
part. No idea. Reem will be taking over the show after this. So thank Reem, Wally, Nina. Thank you so much. Sincerely, you're all great. Have a great weekend.